Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Pixie needs gel for her mustache.
Pixie's just jealous. She had internet problems today too. We've been having big problems, and I'm trying to explain to Ponzi exactly how all the problems are related. So we couldn't get to all day. We couldn't get to our email through. Well, we use Outlook to get to our email, but we could access that email account through the corresponding web interface for that email account. And I was trying to explain to Ponzi that the internet is a connected series of tubes, not trucks. And
I never said it was trucks, but
right?
okay.
No. Well, anyway.
Okay, anyway.
So where our mail server was sitting in relation to us was different from where the web server was. Well, pay attention to me, not the chat room.
I am paying attention to you.
No, you're not. You're staring off into the chat room. I'm trying to explain it to you. They're going to throw you off.
I'm listening.
All right. So anyway, we couldn't access it because there was a cutoff. There was something like a cable that was severed. Somehow there was it just was a disconnect, and then from that point forward, we couldn't see anything. So Outlook couldn't get to the server. No parts of our computers on Comcast could get to that server because our Comcast connection, there's a disconnection point somewhere. Whereas you were able to get your email fine on the iPhone because you're using...
But if I was getting on the internet through my web browser, why was it okay?
You could get to some parts of the internet because some parts of the internet were connecting a different way than the parts of the internet that were between us and the POP3. So... Imagine
if it can't get through one place, why wouldn't it automatically try to pull from another place?
That is the way the internet should work.
Right.
But the cutoff apparently happened in such a way that it wasn't having any of that.
Okay.
So
where did that problem start? With Comcast?
I don't know what part of the network. When I was doing, I ran a couple of diagnostic to find out where the problem was. So there's a couple of tools that I use that are command line tools, which basically means I don't have like a window for it or a program on the desktop for it. It's a classic command line program. DOS, remember DOS? Yeah. No graphics? I use that.
Yeah,
I type in ping and then either the domain name or the web address, or if I have it's a corresponding IP address, which we've discussed in earlier videos on what these are. What it'll do is it'll send packets of information from my computer to that other computer. And then it'll tell me...
Why did you just whack me?
Because you started paying attention to Wicket and not me. And
Can you tell I'm starting to glaze over?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain it to you in such a way you're going to understand it. So when I use the ping tool, it sends packets, small packets from my computer to the other computer and tells me if there's any loss. So to let me know...
Small packets of what, Splenda?
Just... Splenda. Packets of information, data, just bunk data it's sending out, and I wasn't getting any response. So they weren't saying that yes, we were receiving your packets of Splenda. It said, I ain't getting nothing. You're timing out. I don't know what the hell you're saying. So it was like they were throwing the packets away. So I asked the people in the chat room, I said, are you guys getting any response? Are you getting any response on the from the pinging this? And they said no. Some people said, yeah, I'm getting a response. So it let me know that the problem is likely a Comcast. And then I ran another tool called Traceroute. And this one you can't make fun of as easily. Wicket, quit touching my wife's boobs.
Stop, Wiki.
The Traceroute tool will basically not just send information to a remote machine to let you know if it's alive. It'll actually tell you the hops in between, because a machine isn't connected directly to another machine necessarily. If you're connecting to a website, you have to go through a series of networks to connect to that other end. So I'm saying I'm stacking. So it's like there may be a dozen or two different computers between the two. And there was a severing point at some point in the beginning of it. So you're able to pull it up some websites because that particular route was clear. And some websites, there was a disconnect somewhere. And the internet should be smart enough to route around that, but that doesn't always happen, especially if the cutoff point is closer to your initial connection, which it was with Comcast. So the web interface for our email could still see the email server, but our Comcast connection at home couldn't see the email server, even though we could see the website because there was no occlusion for it. There was no disruption, but there was a disruption for the email getting it directly through Outlook. So that's why some of the websites you went to today worked and others didn't. And our not just websites, but just internet points. So like your emails, it didn't work through Outlook, but it worked by accessing it in other ways. So there's a couple of tools that you can use to diagnose whether or not it's your problem or a problem on the network. And then, of course, asking people if they could check into it too, because if they've got it and they're somewhere else, then it would lead you to believe that it's a problem on their end, not necessarily on your end. And you also had the same problem with Microsoft Money, and I didn't realize these two were connected until you explained to me what was happening. Because it was not connecting and downloading the latest information from all our accounts, and you thought it was a Microsoft Money problem. I would believe, since this problem happened today, that it was related to the internet issues that we were having, like with email and whatnot. And I think,
But I've had the same issue before with Microsoft Money, so.
Oh, you've had that issue with Microsoft?
Yes, this happened last month too. If you go in, you can see like a log of each time that it's worked and when it didn't.
Did you use the help file in?
Yes. You can click on the little red icon that tells you what next.
And how do Microsoft help files make you feel?
Stupid. And not invited to call them at all.
I think
They keep referring me to another website or a forum or not a person or not any kind of video. A video would have been great. Just like with the Apple iPhone, when I signed up for it, they gave me a video. This is how you're going to do it. This is what you're going to do. It's real simple.
And that's what we're trying to do now and trying to explain to people.
Makes
Ping,
it easier.
Traceroute, these are a couple tools that people can use to diagnose.
Video would have been great.
That's what we're... Me, look at the camera. They're seeing the back of your head.
Yeah.
Hun, they're seeing the back of your head right now. Now they see the front of your head.
But see, 5 minutes ago you said, "Look at me! Don't look over there! Don't look over there! Don't look over there! Don't read that!
Well,
look at me! You and I are having a conversation right now."
That's because that's because Ponzi, you were like,
I was glossing over because you start getting geeky, and I'm like, whatever.
well, but I'm trying to explain to you these things so that you know, and then you.
That's why Splenda comes up when you say packets.
But but wait, 2 minutes ago you said, "Boy, that would be a great video to watch." Well,
no,
that's what we're doing.
Hun, it's not a how-to. This is not a how-to how to go into Microsoft Money and show me step by step how to fix it. I'm saying it would be good if they did that.
Okay, but sometimes it's not Microsoft Money's problem. Sometimes it's a problem, especially if we're using the internet.
If I can't use their junk, it becomes their problem.
Okay, but Ponzi, it's not... It's like when you blame the internet, it's not the internet's fault. It's the browser's fault. Or if you blame the browser and it's not the browser's fault, it's the internet's fault. There are certain problems that you run into. Today, I'm less inclined to believe that it was Microsoft Money's problem since you were trying to connect the sites. And knowing that I was having issues on my computer on the same network and trying to not just connect to websites, but I couldn't get to my email either. We had the same problems at the same time.
And I would go for that if I hadn't had this issue before.
But the last time we had that issue, we may have very well had problems with the internet
the same
as well. It may have been a different point of failure. Now, if it's something that wasn't related necessarily to the internet downloading in Microsoft Money, it may be a Microsoft Money problem. But do you understand the troubleshooting that I'm trying to take you through?
Yes.
It sometimes a lot of people blame the wrong thing. And I'm not saying it's not Microsoft Money's issue. I'm saying that today it was likely related to the internet given all the other internet-related problems that we had. Do you understand that?
I'm not saying that it is their issue. I understand that I bought the product. I should be able to work it.
That's not what I'm saying.
But at the same time, if another company can do it nicely, why? I would like the same feeling.
But sometimes it's not their. Okay.